The moment I realised I was codependent AF. I was watching an epic little video clip by Aaron Doty when I had a big realisation about how codependent I am. Before we go further, let's define codependency. Here's a quote for you. It is typically recognised as an excessive emotional or psychological reliance on a partner, parent, child, or other person. That's Bacon and Conway, 2023, Hunt, 2013. Another description is when your sense of self-worth and emotions depend on someone else. I'd also call it a loss of sovereignty. I noticed that I'd been so focused on what other people think, feel, and need in life that I'd lost myself in the process. I'd been so focused on my relationship with other people, and not in a good way, that I lost my relationship with myself. That hurt. It made me sad. So I'm doing something about it. But first, here's some examples of codependency in daily life. To recognize codependency in yourself, see if you relate to any of these. Number 1, do you care for others at your own expense? I can deplete myself trying to meet people's needs and even over-anticipate them. Number 2, do you seek approval and validation? Approval is nice, but when it becomes a core driver in your life, you'll be knocked down if you don't get it. I can certainly vouch for that. Number 3, do you prioritize other people's opinions over your own? Sometimes I forget that opinions aren't instructions. I don't have to agree and always do what other people think. Codependency can make us negate our own inner truth and wisdom, sometimes without realizing it. Number 4, are you hypervigilant? This means being highly sensitive to other people's moods, energy, and expressions. I can pick up on the tiniest of shifts in other people's emotions, tone, and facial expressions. That might sound like a superpower, but it's actually a problem when it leads to misinterpretation and thinking everything someone else does is about you. Newsflash, it's not. At the end of this blog, I've linked 20 signs of codependency that you can check in with. The bottom line is this: codependency is unhealthy, but it's not something to be ashamed of. Codependency once helped us survive. We learned it in childhood. It's an adaptation to trauma or dysfunction, such as abuse, neglect, abandonment, divorce, and emotionally unstable or unavailable caregivers. I grew up in a very abusive environment. So to survive, I projected my energy outward instead of focusing on and being grounded in my sense of self, my sovereign being. I became hypervigilant to spot signs of violence or rage in people around me. A slight change in someone's look or tone of voice could send me running for safety. I learned to people please to avoid punishment. I suppressed my emotions whilst feeling responsible for everyone else's. I became enmeshed and reliant on others for approval and direction. And I didn't fully lose my true self, we never do, but I learned to override it to preserve my primary relationships. This is sometimes referred to as choosing attachment over authenticity. None of this was conscious, by the way. As children, our intelligence finds ways to secure love and attachment and protect us from harm as best it can, and the result is codependency. It's normal and actually very clever. That's why I say it's nothing to be ashamed of. But eventually, it needs to end. Codependency doesn't help us thrive. As kids, it may have kept us alive and helped us survive, but as adults, it doesn't help us thrive and it's actually harmful. This deep entanglement and unhealthy level of focus on other people leaves us exhausted, stressed, anxious, and sick. There's actually evidence to show that people pleasers tend to suffer certain chronic illnesses later in life. Check out Dr. Gabon Mate's book on this called When the Body Says No. Hyper-focus on what other people think and feel prevents us from making sovereign decisions for ourselves, trusting ourselves, living our truth, taking bold action, and creating our dreams. Codependency keeps us stuck in survival mode, which drains our energy as we're constantly scanning for danger, rejection, or abandonment and working so hard to avoid these things. Codependency can also damage healthy relationships. Balanced people don't want to be excessively cared for, hyperfixated on, or continually asked for permission and approval before you do anything. Anyone who does want that is on the other side of the codependency coin. It takes two to tango, and you are both stuck in the dance. It's time for change. If you think you're suffering from codependency, reflect on how you might start reclaiming your sense of self. If this is new to you, I recommend learning more about it. Here are some ways I'm working on it. Number 1, not over-anticipating others' needs. Number 2, making decisions without always asking for opinions. Number 3, saying no more and voicing my needs without making them wrong. Number 4, not asking permission, just doing what feels true. Number 5, not assuming other people's moods are about me. And number 6, not taking responsibility for other people's emotions. Of course, context matters. For example, in the workplace, you'll often need to seek opinions before making decisions. And if you're visiting someone's home, please do ask permission before barging in. You get the idea. Another tool that may help is my visualization exercise to reclaim your sense of self. If you're listening to this blog in audio, I'll link it somewhere around the post for you. You can rinse and repeat this visualization as many times as you like. Whenever you feel yourself running away with the people out there, dissolving and losing yourself, stop and draw yourself back using this visualization. Do this over and over until feeling sovereign and full becomes natural to you.